Bit of Doobie Brothers there. From 1993. Long Train Running. Love that one. Okay, now we're going to talk football today. We're talking Hawkinge Town. Now, first of all, I've got my report to read out, and then we're going to talk with the guys that matter, the guys that are on the scene. But last Saturday, Hawkinge, well, they lost to top of the table New Romney 2-1 after being 1-0 up. Today they visit Sutton Athletic Reserves, and if I remember rightly, a few weeks ago they drew 2-2 with those. Next week it's the Deal Community Sports at home. And, well, looking at the league table, you know, if they win their 4 games in hand, that could put them on level points with New Romney and possibly promotion for the 3rd season in a row. So, to tell us more about it, I'm joined by Rob LAWFORD, who's the chairman of the club. Morning, Rob.
Morning, Kev.
And I'm joined by Jake Taylor, who's the coach.
Morning, Kev.
Morning, guys. Now, how are you doing? It's exciting times for you. Let's come to you first, Rob. Now, the club's been going a relatively short period of time. Made lots of progress, but you're the chairman, so tell me a bit of the overview of the whole club, you know, the youth teams, how many youth teams you got and stuff like that.
Yes, Kev. Well, we started back in 2006-07 season. I just moved to the area fairly recently, 2004-05. I was looking for a team for my kids, for Alex, my son, and there wasn't one. So we set
There wasn't one, right? No. Well, not in Hawkinge, anyway.
Not in Hawkinge, no.
Okay.
So we set a team up. Fair few people got involved. First season we had 2 teams, then quickly evolved to 5 teams and went onwards and upwards. And we've got 16 teams now, and we've tried to consolidate
16 teams. But Rob, when you came to Hawkinge, I mean, it was probably a big place then, but it is massive now, isn't it, with the population? And so, when you think 16 teams, and there's a lots of youngsters up there that must be pleased that you came to Hawkinge, to be honest, and giving them something to do. So, from what age ranges are the teams now for the youth section?
Well, we've got an under-7s team, which I take.
Oh, do you? Yeah,
that's my team. And we range up to under-15s at the moment. Although over the course of the last 9 years, we've had teams up to under-18s as well. 18,
right? Okay. So now you've also got the senior team, which we're going to talk. We're going to bring Jake in now. Jake, now the senior team. What I've noticed first of all is that you've got a bit of a gap there between like the oldest youth team and the senior team. But we were speaking earlier off air, but you have got some of the youngsters have actually come through the youth setup and to your first team.
That's right, yeah. Our goalkeeper, Nathan Sims, has played for the youth team in the past, and Reece Mortimer had a couple of seasons for the youth team. But yeah, there is a little bit of a gap there, which we want to sort of get more interest. Obviously, this is why we're coming on today, so we can get more teams in and sort of progress up to under 18. So essentially, that's what it's all about, is progression into the men's team.
Okay. Now, going back to the senior team, we talk about the senior team now. I believe this is your 3rd season, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, now, I followed you right from the start, because years ago, I lived in Hawkinge when it was a village. And then I saw this thing, Hawkinge Town? But where's that? There's not a town up in Hawkinge, but it is virtually a town now. Tell us about the brief life of your club. I know you've had back-to-back promotions, but so, I mean, did it really, did you pick a winning team from the start, or have you had new players come in?
Yeah, I mean, probably in the 3 seasons that we've been going, I think I've probably signed something in the region of about 90 players, all told. I think we signed something like 30 in our first season. We had a lot of interest. Obviously, with Folkestone Invicta, obviously, there's a big pool of players there that finish at under 18 and are not quite good enough to get into Cugs's good team, you know, they're a very good side, and you've got to be a good player.
That gap is getting bigger now, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So there's a lot of really good players that have been playing Kent Youth League football for many years that are good enough, and we've had a lot come up to us, because it's a decent standard of football still.
Yeah.
You know, you'd have to travel down to Lydd or New Romney if you wanted to play that sort of standard. So yeah, it's great for the area.
good. And seems like Folkestone and Hive, and when I was playing in my playing days, I played down at Hive in the reserves. I had a couple of games for the first team. It was normally at the end of the season when we had to travel to Greenwich Borough or something like that, and they were short.
That's it, yeah.
And no one wanted to go. There was nothing to play for. But there's no reserve teams like there was a few years ago. So
no, that's right. It all costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's
Well, the money thing, that's what we're going to talk about shortly, and it's very important that, you know, it's great having success on the pitch, but with it, it's a bit of a price to pay, isn't there? So we're going to play a bit of music, and then we're going to stay with these guys and find out just what it takes to get a team into the Kent County League in the Premier Division. Jake and Rob back in now. Now, Jake, we were talking about stuff about your team progressing on the pitch and how many players you've signed. But have you got a settled side now? You know, how big is your squad?
Well, again, I've signed over 30 players this year.
Right.
But I've got a solid core of about 18.
Okay.
That, you know, it's difficult. It's really difficult because we have a bit more travelling to do. We go right up to North Kent to Dartford today. And obviously players have commitments and you get the odd excuses rolling out on a Friday and Saturday night, so we tend to get on the longer trips away from home. We don't tend to get...
You can cross out a few names you know won't be there.
Oh God, it's a bit of a nightmare, but I mean, I've got a solid core of about 18 really good players.
Yeah, and have you found, you know, you've done the two leagues now, have you found the standard of football has just got better now? You've come up, you've had to look for better players?
Yeah, it's definitely got stronger, and I've definitely, last season we were doing really well. We were top at Christmas, but we had quite a lot of inexperience in the side. And after Christmas, obviously everyone wanted to beat us because we were top, and they were trying to get physical and stuff like that, and didn't quite have enough characters in the side to carry us through. We ended up finishing 4th. We had a bit of a disaster in the back end of the season. But we scraped through, got promotion, so I had to change the squad quite dramatically this year, probably by about 50% actually. Because we wouldn't have survived, I don't think.
So what happens if you go up again? I mean, there's going to be trials and tribulations of going up. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. So tell me what happens if you go up again. What do you think changes you'll have to make, and just kind of what worries you about if you do make the Premier? It
is a bit of a concern. Obviously, the expense is quite a lot more. Obviously, the west section of the league, of the Kent County League, and the east section are sort of joined in the Premier, so you get half and half. So you have a lot more travelling to do because you're going to North Kent a lot more regular. So there's an extra expense there, and you get 3 officials next year if we were to go up.
Okay. So that's more expensive.
That's more expensive.
Yeah.
Working it out, it's probably going to be over £200 a week.
Right. So that's one of the headaches that come with promotion. So what are you hoping to do? What are you hoping to do about it? And this is your soapbox now to kind of drum up a bit of business. I think we'll pass this one over to the chairman.
Yep.
He's the one that's you worry about stuff goes on the pitch,
that's
and
we'll
let Rob worry about what goes on off the pitch. So okay, let's assume we get promotion. What are your ambitions?
Well, obviously the club's always looking for sponsors, so you know, anyone listening who's got an organisation who want to come along and give us a little bit of money, that would be fantastic, and we can give them some exposure in our match day programme, which is fantastic, and also just on a match day. So that's probably one of the major things we'll be looking at to generate income. We've also got, as some people may not know, some fantastic facilities.
Right.
And we do sell drinks, teas, coffees and stuff at the ground, so that again kind of generates an income for us.
So if clubs, I mean, if we're looking to find your ground now, I personally know where it is, and but there's these big brown signs. Are they the ones?
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
We do have signposts now in Hawkinge Sports Pavilion, and that's where we play.
Right.
It's adjacent to Hawkinge Cricket Club, which people tend to kind of know better than Hawkinge Youth or Hawkinge Town football clubs at the moment. But we are tucked away. We're on the kind of outskirts of the village town. Mm-hmm. So we are a little bit harder to find, but it is very accessible, and it's just basically a road off the A260.
So as people that know the area will immediately say, yes, the incinerator road. Is that what they say? It used to be what they called it. I used to go running up there, and I'd go for a nice quiet run up there, and all of a sudden there'd be a great big bin lorry coming straight for you. But is it up there? Is that the road to...
It is commonly known as the Incinerator Road. That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So in your match day programme now, is that something that you do you have to do it at that level, or just something that
we don't have to do it? We don't have to do it, but we have a gentleman by the name of Grant Wilbur, who's actually our secretary as well, who does an absolutely amazing job, and he puts together that programme for all our home games. And I believe we've got a little bit of recognition, Jake, from the league.
Yeah, I think the Kent County League said it was the best programme in the league.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, and it's all credit to Grant. He used to be programme editor at Sittingbourne Town.
Right.
He's had a lot to do with obviously non-league football and rugby and what have you. He knows what it takes to develop a club from scratch as well, because he's been involved. But he does a fantastic job, not only on the programme but on the website, on the club website.
Yeah.
He enjoys doing that as well, as being
good.
club secretary, so he's a busy man.
So we need more people, any listeners out there like Grant, that love doing stuff and can convert their energy into helping a local football club. So if you're out there and if you've got a business that needs promoting, then please get in touch with the guys. We'll give you all the catch up contact details a bit later. But now I understand you've had a few awards for the Manager of the Month. Is that right? Do you want to tell me about that?
That's not me, Kev.
I know.
That'll be that man over there.
I know, but I don't want to ask him because he'd go all shy and not tell us. Only one?
I've only had one.
Oh, I must have seen the same picture about 20 times then.
Yeah, probably. I've
Do you know what?
a bit.
Jake deserved to have had Manager of the Month probably about 5 or 6 months running prior to actually getting it.
Right.
I've got no idea why he wasn't awarded it. It must have been someone somewhere out there in Kent must have been better than him in each of those 6 months. But he finally got it. Earlier on this season, wasn't it, Jake?
Yeah, that's right.
No, well done to you,
November
Jake.
time, something like that. So yeah,
I did see it,
fantastic.
and I saw it everywhere. So I thought, God, every month he gets this award. It's the same picture he puts out. Sometimes though, it's the kiss of death, isn't it? You get the you
That's
know.
it.
Oh, let's hope it's not the kiss of death for you guys. All right, okay, we're going to play a bit of music, and we've got a bit of a Man Eater by Hall & Oates.
The Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by the Natural Health Centre in Folkestone. When it comes to your health, make the right choice.
105.9 Academy FM.
105.9 Academy FM.
Saturday Sport. You're listening to the Sports Ferret on Academy FM.
Academy FM.
Now, Rob, you were telling us that you need some help behind the scenes on match days. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of falls on too few people, as ever, and we could really do with some help on match days. Match days kind of tend to start, the youth teams play in the morning, but our match day for Hawkinge Town tends to start around about midday, and obviously go through to around about 5 o'clock. And there's absolutely huge numbers of jobs to do, tasks to do.
Tell us what sort of jobs. I mean, people are wondering what if they helped out. What would they have to do?
Anything from putting the kit out for the players to helping putting the setting the pitch up. So we've got perimeter cordons around the pitch to putting the nets up, and just generally supporting Jake and his coaches in preparing the team and getting the clubhouse ready. Really.
Okay. So what about you, Jake? On match day, are you short of helpers as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to do most of it myself.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
I'm
Right.
up there early, putting the goals up and everything like that.
Yeah.
But the team, obviously the away team comes in, just greeting them and just making sure that all the jobs have been done so that I can concentrate on the team, on my team.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it is difficult on match days, and sometimes the helpers you do get can't make it on you know, certain weekends. So, you know, last weekend I think I was pretty much on my own, sort of from start to finish.
Right.
So you can get the odd weekend like that. But there's 3 or 4 of us that, you know, that help out, and whoever's out there who's interested in getting involved with the football club, I mean, I think there's 11,000 people in Hawkinge now.
That's right.
It's a massive...
Yeah, I mean, as we were saying earlier, the pitch might be a little bit tucked out the way, but you've only got to find it the once. Come on, guys. And I'm sure there's people there that might have hung their boots up, or perhaps there's some parents from the youth teams. You know, you think, I just love taking my kids to football. Perhaps I could do a little bit more. Let's help Jake out. Come on. It does take a lot to run a football club, as we've said, but the rewards are great. You know, you can go home, you can talk about the match, and you know, there's just a little buzz about it. And especially as you're looking at a winning team here, guys. Come on, this could be the third season that they're going up, and I just think that this club up here needs to be discovered really properly, and I'm sure it will happen. So, Jake, how's the pitch shaping up there, by the way?
Recently, I think we've had a inspection by the FA, haven't we?
Yeah, Football Association came and did an inspection for us and produced a big in-depth report. So there's some stuff that we need to go and take away and do, and of course that costs money.
Yeah.
So we need to look and see what sort of revenue we've got to put at that. I think we probably need to mention Dickie Peters,
right?
Who was involved down at Dover, but is involved with ourselves now. He marks the pitch out, puts in a huge amount of time, and Dickie's done a fantastic job for us and continues to do so.
Well, I think the council sort of look after the maintenance of the pitch, which obviously we're grateful for, and Dickie marks it out. So it could be better, but obviously, as Rob said, it costs money. So
if you do go up, I mean, is there any facilities on the pitch or any standards that you've got to step up to, or is it all in place?
I think we're all in place. If anyone's been up there, we've got I think a £750,000 sports pavilion, which has got some of the best changing rooms in the league. Obviously, we've got a kitchen, everything like that. Everything's in place. Right. Obviously, it's when you go up again, I think that's when you know it all comes with floodlights.
So
and everything else.
yeah, so if you moved to the next step, which would be, what would that be, Invicta League?
It'll be Kent Invicta League as it stands now, but I think next season they're changing it so that I think the South East counties are going to be Division 1 and 2.
Yeah. Okay, so basically you've got to get this promotion as high as you can go at this level, and then consolidate for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think our Secretary Grant made a good point the other day. He said, I think from his experience, it takes about 10 years to establish a club. You know, and it's
you've only been going a couple of years, and
that's right,
I mean, there are clubs in that league that if you do go up to the Premier, as you were saying, Rob, they've been there for a long time, you know, and perhaps they haven't got the facilities or they haven't had the expertise to move up to the next level, which isn't a bad thing, because you don't want the whole thing to fold altogether.
No, you don't want to do things too quickly.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got some the people that do help, you know, Grant, obviously we've mentioned. Brendan, my assistant manager, has been absolutely brilliant. He does so much for the club, along with Mark, my coach. We got some supporters that come up week in, week out, and you know, one of them's my father-in-law, Paul, who last week was the ball boy, believe it or not.
Oh, was
I could
he?
see him, the balls are getting
one ball boy running around the
field.
whole pitch.
And
He's fit, your father-in-law. He must be fit.
Well, I don't know about that, but he was doing a great job last week when we were at home. So I'd like to mention Paul. You know, he's been fantastic. He supported the club. I think he used to watch Invicta every week, and he now watches us every week.
That's
So
good. That's
massive,
good. Yeah. So I suppose
thing.
you've got to swing with that as well, because Invicta are doing very well, and if you like, they're kind of probably taking some of your crowd away. They might want to go and watch Invicta. But come on, guys.
I was chatting to a guy.
Go on.
I was chatting to a guy in Tesco's the other day, and he said, "Oh, how did you get on today?" And I told him, and he said he was down at Hive that day. You know, and it just, you know, we got two big clubs that we got to, you know, there's a lot of attractive football in the area, and it's a battle, but there is a lot of people that are not too far away from
As
us,
we said, Hawkinge Town is a town. When I moved up there, it was a village where I lived. You used to look out at my back garden, and you see the old airfield, and there wasn't a house in sight. You know, it was fantastic. My kids grew up running around the old airfield. Anyway, I want to get this song in. I want to make sure we get it in, actually. So Jake, tell us about this little song, and who is it dedicated to?
It's dedicated to my father-in-law, Paul. It's his favourite track. So enjoy this, Paul, for the next couple of minutes.
Right.
105.9 Academy FM.
Folkestone's radio station. Ring or text on 01303 721059.
There you go, that's for Paul, My Generation, his favourite group. He's the oldest mod in Hawkinge. We were just saying he turns up to the game on his scooter with his Parker and those big wing mirrors that they used to have on the Vespa. Do you remember those, Paul? Oh, come on, of course you do. Now, we're going to come back to Rob and Jake. We've been joined today by Chairman Rob Lawford and Coach Jake Taylor from Hawkinge Town FC. We've been talking about the trials and tribulations of success in such a short space of time. The fact that Hawkinge is currently this season really fighting two good teams in the Ryman League. But come on, guys, there's over 10,000 people living in Hawkinge, and all we're after is a few extra volunteers to come up. And it's only every Saturday, remember. They do play away every week, and so please come along. So now it's time for Rob and Jake to just wrap up the show, really, and tell us their thank yous, how to get in touch and stuff like that. So, Rob, let's go to you first.
Yeah, just wanted to say that there's been since we started the youth team and obviously gone through to the adult team. There's been a number of organisations that have helped us, and in particular the Kent County FA who've been fantastically supportive. The Roger DeHaan Charitable Trust has been very, very supportive of us. Also, Football Foundation in giving us support with our application for our facilities. Hawkinge Town Council, and we've also got one particular councillor, Susan Carey, who's been very, very supportive of the club. So I think it's fair to say that those guys have been fundamental to pushing us forward as a club. Okay, Jake. And now, Jake's over to you. Obviously, we were looking for players all the time. We were looking for helpers. But any thank yous you want to say?
Yeah, just for everyone really that's helped the club so far in these last 3 years, really. Obviously, the more and more people get involved, the easier it is for us to progress now. I mean, now it's starting to get tough. So, but I express, we want people to get involved. There's a lot of people out there, and if they do get involved, it's the best thing ever. I love it. Rob loves it. Everyone who's involved really do enjoy it. So, yeah, just
everybody to come along and give the whole team the support.
That's right.
Deserves,
if you go onto hawkingefootball.co.uk, I think you can get our contact details on there. Just get in touch.
And you got a Facebook page?
Yeah, we've got a Facebook page, Hawkinge Town FC, and we've got a Twitter page at Hawkinge Town FC. So,
and I've noticed on your Facebook page, you get some good write-ups. Who's behind the write-ups?
Grant again.
Is
Grant,
he?
Yeah, Grant does the write-ups.
Yeah.
He takes photographs.
Every club.
Rob's daughter Celini takes photographs.
Does she?
Yeah.
Every club has got a Grant, don't you think? Not literally money-wise, but there's always one person that does the job of like 6 or 7 people.
Yeah.
So come on, people in Hawkinge, let's help Grant out. And I want to thank Rob and Jake for coming in. It's been great talking to you. And it's nice talking about the Kent County League. There are teams out there besides the Ryman and besides the Premier. I mean, I do get a bit browned off watching the Premier League. I'd sooner drive past the game, see guys kicking around the grassroots. I always pull over and have a look.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay,
Could I just mention quickly, one of my players, Nathan, Hardwick, Acker, the Brown, Brad Pitt. If I don't mention him, he'll
be in trouble.
We'll go for breakfast after this.
Okay. All right, we're going to wrap it up now. We're going to play a bit of Jimmy Nail. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Thanks once again. It's been great talking football at a grassroots level. And I must tell you this, we're changing next week. We love every sport here on the Sports Ferret Show. Next week, we're talking darts with Tim Isles. So see you next week.
105.9
Academy FM.